స్వాగతం. ఇవాల్టి పవరింగ్ పాసిబిలిటీస్ పవర్డ్ బై జోహో ఎపిసోడ్ లో ఒక ప్రముఖ వ్యక్తిని మీకు పరిచయం చేయబోతున్నాను. అండ్ we have with us the founder of Charities2Love, Maitry Shah. Good morning, Maitry. How are you doing?
Good morning, Venu. I am doing wonderful. I want to thank you so much for your kind invitation to your show. Good morning to all your listeners. Thank you to Radio Surabhi for this invitation and congratulations on 4 years.
Thank you. If we completed the 4-year anniversary, so
Yes.
somebody did their homework, sounds like.
Yes, absolutely. Why not? I'm thrilled to know that. So that's
We're very
wonderful.
proud of it. And, within a very short time, we were able to reach thousands, and I'm not exaggerating that number one bit
Okay.
of our Telugu community, and almost became a family, if you will. So, and I love the energy in your voice. What did you eat for breakfast?
Probably just a smoothie. That's about all that I've had today. So, and
Okay,
chai, of course.
that won't be enough for me, for sure. I can say that.
Oh, okay.
100% guarantee. So, Maitri, again, welcome to Powering Possibilities, powered by Zoho. The goal, the mission of this program is to connect our entrepreneurs, nonprofit owners, to our
Yes.
community. And also we'd like to think that, everybody benefits from that. We will connect these organizations with the community, and the community gets connected with them, and, they can find a common purpose. Ultimately, our ultimate goal is for people to be inspired from the amazing work folks like you do. So that's our mission, and we are very thankful for Zoho for sponsoring this segment. So let's get started with this. So you're from India, I can tell.
Yes, I am.
Where in India are you from, Maitri?
I am from Gujarat,
Okay.
and but I was not there long because my parents immigrated in the early 70s. So I was there for a little while, but thankfully got to go back quite often in my childhood to visit all of our family and all of that.
Nice. So when did you first come to the US?
So I came when I was 3 years old in 1972. Yes, we were early immigrants, and I grew up here and got to see the best of both worlds and got to see how my parents did all that they did in the early 70s, settling all of their family, raising my brother and I, having multiple businesses. I can tell you that was the foundation of all of my life, watching them do seva their whole entire life.
Wow. So
Which is
you started in Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken.
yes. My father is an architect, so at that time that's how he came. So we packed up our station wagon and drove down. To Houston, and I was raised in Houston. Yes.
Okay, wow. That must have been one heck of a drive all the way from there. But it's quite a contrast. Right now the circumstances from when you started
Yes.
your life here. Some for good and some not so much,
Yes, very, very different. Yes.
if you know
And
what I
I'm
mean.
a bit envious of all of now we have temples down the street and Indian grocery stores around the corner. And at that time, none of that was there. And I remember my parents working very hard to make sure that we had all of that culture, going to cultural programs, having everything in the house, really, so that we would know pujas and doing different activities at home. What is Navratri? What is Diwali? All of those things had to be done in the home. They could not take us anywhere. So they did an amazing job. Amazing.
I'm sure I can see that. So you started your career as a pharmacist, correct?
Yes,
Talk to me a little
correct.
bit about that. And it's considered a very lucrative career.
Yes, and I went into that because I think, as I said, the foundation of everything I have done in my life was based on my parents. And so I found pharmacy to be a very service oriented field, if you will, right? You are serving others, you are um, teaching, you are explaining. And so I went into that thinking that that was how I could serve, to be honest. That's how it all happened. And, it did end up being like that, right? You are teaching patients, you are working with physicians, you are doing many other things in addition to your patient. But then when I took a break from pharmacy, and I just felt that there was more I wanted to do, like more ways to serve. It felt as healthcare is amazing, but it is amazing because you can do so many things with that. But then there was just more that I wanted to do outside of that field, is how I felt.
Right.
So,
So, what started? So, you are founder of Charities to Love. Tell me a little bit about your organization, Maitri, and what's the mission?
yes, I could absolutely. So then, as I said, that the foundation was laid, serving and seva and all of that. So while working and while raising the kids, we did a lot of volunteering. And
Okay.
so in that process of going out to serve with the kids, with other people, I always had people asking me, you know, how do you know where to go to volunteer? Like, how do you know that this nonprofit is good to volunteer with, or we're going to enjoy it, and all of those things. And that puzzled me a little bit because we just would
Hmm.
find places we would go, we would spend a couple of hours. And I also then in between, after working as a pharmacist, worked as a volunteer coordinator. So I had that experience as well. What I realized when people were asking is that they wanted to serve alongside, but they could not figure out, okay, where to go, what to do. Like, will their time be used impactfully? And time is a valuable resource, right? So with that thought in mind, and with lots of support, I launched Charities to Love with that idea to
Hmm.
give people and to give people ideas, to give people community, or to serve together in our local community where we all live, right? Give where we
Hmm.
live. And so that's how we launched. Our mission is connecting people with meaningful ways to give back. And that can be in a variety of ways. It can, of course, be a group of people going somewhere to serve, but it
Hmm.
also looks like virtual volunteering, where we have an entire section on our website where people can do things at home. And then they get those items to us, and then we can give those items to the nonprofit. And it also looks like group volunteering, where people, now we have organizations that have invited us into their workspace, and we bring things to them, and they make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches like 750 to 1,000 in an hour,
Oh,
or
wow.
they pack up, yes, or they pack up bags for those with cancer, so giving people different kinds of opportunities to serve is our mission.
I mean, that's a very niche area. The reason why I say that, Maitri, is a lot of people have they cherish, they value different types of giving to different purposes, right? For some, it's about feeding
Yes,
homeless people, right? For some, it's serving the homelessness. For some, environmental is something that's very near and dear to them.
yes,
Children, the health, wellness. I noticed that, these are all but they don't know which charity to approach so they can contribute. But I really picked up on something that you said, which is, okay, it's possibly easy to find that charity, but
hmm,
is there, I mean, there's always this doubt at the back of your mind, right? Is my resources or is my time being utilized
yes,
properly? So there's always the thought nagging, you know what I mean? Um,
absolutely,
so
yes,
um,
I agree.
so if I may paraphrase what you just said, you are one-stop shop, if you will, for all charities, and people can come to you and find the charity that is near and dear to them and go with that. Did I say that right?
You said that right, but we also, yes, absolutely. So we are charities to love because, as you said, for a lot of people have actually asked me, why did you do this? Why didn't you choose
Right?
one cause? And I think having volunteered in so many different spaces over the years, and when I say that, like for example, I did devote myself to only foster children for 5 years. It was called
Mm,
CASA, Court Appointed Special Advocate, and I absolutely loved that. It was not
mm,
that, but so many other things also that not only pulled my heartstrings, but also the need is there as well. Currently hunger is a big need. There are those that are experiencing homelessness. And I think for me personally, I find more fulfillment in helping people find their inspiration and their passion, which is different for different people, based on their
uh-huh.
background, based on, what they feel
Experiences.
experiences or what they may have seen growing up. And so for us also, serving so many different nonprofits and so many different causes, it truly is fulfilling. And it truly is, because when they volunteered with us since the beginning, and we have many of those families and children, they have told us that they
Mm,
have learned so much in causes they never even thought about. They may have never considered like what a foster child goes through. They may have not actually considered, you know, uh, those on the experiencing homelessness and different ways that we can serve them rather than judging and saying, okay, well, we don't know what to do about this, but we're not doing that. We are just connecting with the nonprofit, saying, how can we help? And then we figure out how we can do that, helping them, and it eases it for them as well you know
must be so gratifying at the end of the day when you are able to meet the needs of those people. Maitri, I'm already inspired by your story, and I'm sure our audience too. మీరు
Thank
వింటున్నారు ద
you.
పవరింగ్ పాసిబిలిటీస్ పవర్డ్ బై జోహో. ఇవాళ మన కార్యక్రమానికి మన గెస్ట్ మైత్రి షా. షీ ఈస్ ద ఫౌండర్ ఆఫ్ చారిటీస్ టు లవ్. సో మైత్రి, how do you find these specific organizations, and what they are into? How do you scout for them, for lack of better terms?
Yes, no, that's a fantastic question. So we're since we launched, I've been familiar with the Dallas Fort Worth nonprofit scene for a very long time. I would say over 20 years. So I already, when I started, had a list of nonprofits that I was hoping that we could introduce volunteers to have, volunteer opportunities at. And in that process, truthfully, what happens is they find me.
Oh,
And yes, because
makes your job easy,
what,
doesn't it?
well, actually, what it is everybody knows about larger nonprofits. We all know about like, for example, in the homelessness space, we all know, or we may know about Austin Street Center, we may know about Samaritan Inn or things like that. But there are so many smaller nonprofits. They
Mm-hmm.
may be, and they are actually the boots on the ground. They're the micro nonprofits, and they actually do amazing work. And we have heard from many nonprofits that we get connected, or when you are connected to one, then they will connect you to another. But I'll just give you an example from my first year. And this
Please.
is a small nonprofit in Arlington. And
Okay.
they found us very early. She is a woman founder. And what she does, it's a very unique niche. So she provides these boxes called ICU boxes to women in domestic violence shelters. And the thing about the shelters is that's not a space that you can easily go volunteer. There's
Hmm.
a lot of background checks and a lot of
I'm
restrictions. So
sure.
we cannot just walk in and say, "Hey, we want to volunteer." So
I'm here.
she
Yeah.
found a way to do that. So when she contacted us and said, "We would love for you to help us build these ICU boxes. Can you find us some volunteers?" And I said, absolutely. And that volunteer opportunity, it's an experience really where we find a space, we have a volunteering opportunity. They come and our volunteers come, and we put together these ICU boxes for these women. And the other thing we have yet to mention is our volunteer opportunities always have awareness at the end, always, because that is the way that a volunteer who has spent time and energy, an hour, 2 hours, whatever that is, understands the impact of their time. So
Wow.
at the end of the volunteer opportunity, this nonprofit usually will, explain to our volunteers the impact of their time, how these boxes will be used. And afterwards, we generally get a story or two from an actual recipient of, the box or whatever we have given, whether it's a snack bag or a bracelet. And our volunteers say we never understood that we could have such an immediate impact,
Yeah.
immediate impact. And so that, if that answers your question about how do we source, I mean, of course, I am always on the looking,
On the lookout.
but on the lookout, and but there are thousands of nonprofits, right? And we currently, I mean, once we have volunteered with a couple, then, and if those are ones that our volunteers love, so this particular one, we'll have our fourth annual in September.
Oh,
It's
nice.
that popular because people, yes, of course, they want to be doing new and different things, but also once they understand that impact of this particular one or this particular, they want to do it again. And
I
they,
bet.
yes, so that's how it comes about.
So I'm sure there are lots of heart-touching stories, those moments where you felt like, at the end of the day, man, that was worth it. So I'm sure there are a lot, but share with us, Maitri, if you will, the one that immediately stands out. There was like, oh wow, I was there. I made a difference, possibly in someone's life. So, um, do you mind?
I guess that happened actually immediately. Because when you launch, as any entrepreneur or anyone still with a startup knows, you're like, okay, how is this going to go? Right. So our
Uh-huh.
very, very first opportunity was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich making opportunity. And we made 500 PB&J sandwiches in addition to collecting many, many snacks and other items for those experiencing homelessness. So right after that opportunity, we had to deliver those items. And
Mm-hmm.
so we served three nonprofits, but one in particular is a micro nonprofit out in
Okay.
Allen. And she said, why don't you come out with us and we'll deliver the things that you all have contributed and made with us. So, doing that, she told me to meet her in downtown Dallas under a bridge. And I mean, you do hear about that, but not ever actually having done that. It is a
Must
very,
be
very,
surreal.
yes, surreal. And we take the items that everybody had so generously made, and we're walking around, and the immense gratitude that people express there under the bridge. Some people cannot get out of their tents, and
Thanks.
but some people are standing very patiently in line waiting for their items. I think it was truly eye-opening. And actually, my son accompanied me on that. And for both of us, it was truly eye-opening at the gratitude and the immense appreciation that they felt for our small act. It was a very small act. And that really is like, okay, we are on the right track here. We are on the right track to just keep going in all of the different causes. And I could give you stories from many different causes.
I'm sure. I'm sure it's a validation of your purpose, of your mission, and what you said there, Maitri. I mean, a peanut butter sandwich. I mean, it's like most of us think sometimes arrogantly, big deal,
Yes,
right?
yes.
We just don't, sometimes we fail to realize, not intentionally, but in the thick of the things going on around us, how fortunate we are to have been
Absolutely.
blessed with the resources that we have, and we take it for granted. And like, you might be thinking, oh, what's a peanut butter sandwich? But for them, they probably haven't eaten for days, and it's a big difference making. I am Thank you for sharing that very powerful story. It's not. See, you cannot put a price or a value on those things. I mean, they're just priceless moments, and I appreciate the work that you're doing in this. And of course, for all that work that you've done, you've been recognized nationally,
Thank
by receiving. You're the recipient of Daily Points of Light Award. Talk to us about that. What does it mean? And tell us a little bit more.
That was so exciting for me. So Points of Light is a national organization which was founded by George H.W. Bush. And so they've been around a while. And his idea was so beautiful that they recognize one person every day in the country. And so there is a nomination process and all of that. But really, I think more than anything, all of the honorees, when you read their stories, they
Mm,
range from, teens. There are so many incredible teens and young people doing work all the way up to, people doing things later on in life. And so it was just so exciting to be recognized on that national level, along with others who are doing whatever they are doing in so many spaces. Just because that is the thing, right? It just takes a little bit of inspiration in a community to inspire others, and that's where that ripple effect comes. So it's
right,
really not even about us receiving that. It's more than that. It is about, okay, we are actually doing something that is helping our community, which is all any of us want to do. That is the
right.
whole goal. And so I think receiving that, and then when that I did receive that award, that was last year. I was actually coincidentally also going to the Points of Light National Conference in a month span. And so they had a special program just for all of their Points of Light honorees. We got to meet from the CEO down. We had our own special group. It was very special to be around others that think like you, because I
Hmm.
think in day-to-day life sometimes it is like, oh, what are you doing again? But when we are in a space that is so aligned with what like we are thinking, and there's so
Hmm.
many others like that. It was very inspiring to just hear their stories, to hear in their communities. This is a nationwide conference. It was actually global, and to understand how people are doing that in their community, talk to each other, get ideas. It was wonderful. So I was very honored to be able to do that.
Congratulations on that.
Thank
Well
you.
deserved, Maitri. So, on a slightly lighter note, what you're doing, it requires lots of resources, time, energy,
Yeah.
monetary, what have you. If you had one, like somebody comes to you, like God comes to you and says, "Hey, Maitri, I'm willing to give you
Oh,
whatever superpower that you want that can help you with your mission." What would that be?
oh wow. A superpower.
Uh-huh. Think outside the
Um,
box.
That is definitely outside the box. Let me think. I live so much in the day-to-day moment. I think it would be amazing for people to understand what we do. I think that part has been really tough because I think that, so then I guess the superpower maybe would be that some they could just you know I'm more easily able to do walk in other people's shoes, like just walk in or see all of the different things. And just kind of they would really get that, because I think sometimes what happens in the nonprofit space, that people really feel that it's way out there. You're like, oh,
Hmm.
you're not doing a business, you're not having a job, you're not, why are you doing this again? And I think I would love for them, they would to be able to walk that and be like they would really be able to understand uh, and feel that inspiration as well.
You know what? Like your superpower has already been granted in a way because you are in Powering Possibilities, powered by Zoho.
Uh,
And this is, we like I said at the beginning, we have thousands of listeners, who have become in the last 4 years of our Radio Surabhi journey uh, a family, if you will. So, I mean, but just, and we are very grateful to be able to connect you with our community. So, and, your wish has been granted, Maitri.
Thank you. And I
How about
appreciate,
that?
I'm so grateful and so truly humbled and honored to be here to talk to your listeners and
Oh,
have them understand. That is, Absolutely, my wish has been granted. Thank you.
All right, couple of so staying on the light note. So do you still watch Indian movies, Bollywood movies?
I have here and there, not as much, very, very little time these days. I must say, very little time. I hear that from your family and all that, but yes, occasionally. Uh,
Okay, if you could meet one Bollywood hero, you know, not necessarily from the current generation, who would that be?
I would say Amitabh Bachchan.
Amitabh Bachchan.
But
Okay, man. You
yeah,
were you pick Big B, and nobody comes close to him.
yeah.
All right.
And then the second one, I actually did have an opportunity to meet because my mother-in-law got to dance with Shah Rukh Khan when he was here ago, and she was chosen from the audience, so we did get to do that. So, I think we've again another wish granted there.
So, I work for a company, and I'm again very grateful. We actually have what we call a month of give. We call that Give Month. It's in October, so and we actually have a fair where a lot of these nonprofit organizations visit us. They set up their booth, and we get to talk to them and find out what they do, and just again similar to what you do right, the connecting. So and it's a great opportunity, and we look forward to that, and I would love for you to be part of that
Oh,
fair, come October. We'll be in touch. But a related question there, Maitri, is um, there are a lot of smaller corporate offices, the companies, if you will, right? Where there is where they don't necessarily have such opportunities to give and all that. So, do you talk to corporates also and see,
absolutely.
yeah?
Yes. So what we do, that one of the things that we actually do. We are able to go into like business. So we have actually had corporate volunteering came to us because some of our volunteers said, "Hey, we would love for you to come into our workspace." And so actually we have American Airlines is one where there's teams over there. The American Airlines Indian Employee Business Resource Group actually was the first one. They were
Okay,
so kind. It was amazing.
nice.
And they've had us back year after year. It's one of our most favorite ones because they do it in January to celebrate India Republic Day, but they're celebrating that by giving back here, which is such a beautiful idea that they had. And so for businesses that have teams, we bring all the supplies. We get together with their team and whatever they would like to do, whether it's peanut butter jelly sandwich making, which is actually a wonderful team building, or putting together kits for the homeless or other causes. And then awareness. Awareness is the key. We will have the nonprofit come to their place of business
Right.
to come speak and again help them understand the impact. So, of course, if there's business offices there, and yes, that would be something we could do.
We'll definitely stay in touch. Maitri, again, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us, and of course, sharing time with us, and sharing what you do. But most important, I want to thank you on behalf of Radio Surabhi and the Dallas community for what you do. You are truly making a difference in lots of lives. It's very near and dear to me. As soon as I read your profile, I couldn't wait to speak with you. Um, Thank you so much once again, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you very much for having me on. I've loved our conversation.
Me
And
too.
thank
Me
you
too.
again to all of your listeners.
All right, Maitri. Thank you very much. రేడియో సర్వీస్ శ్రోతలందరికీ ధన్యవాదాలు. మీరు విన్నారు another episode of Powering Possibilities, powered by Zoho. Take care and have a great day.
Bye bye.